Yeah, whatever. Anyway, guys, we just had a lot of technical difficulties backstage, but we were actually able to figure everything out. So, without further ado, this is the 31st episode of the Gauntlet. So, are you guys ready to step into the Gauntlet with us and talk about everything that's going on in the NFL and the world of football? So, I'm your host, and these are my main guys that always host the show with me every single week. On the top right, we got Chop Suey is not real Chinese,
It ain't. It ain't.
aka J Dog, aka Denzel Snipes. It's going down. In the bottom corner, left corner, we got Ti representing the Green Bay Packers, who had the big win, beating the Arizona Cardinals this week. So that was pretty sick. And then we got Detroit Dom, the CEO of Stofers, in the building.
So,
What's going on, gentlemen? How you guys doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
We're good.
I'm hanging in there.
doing all right.
Hanging in there.
I actually just got off a Zoom call. So I talked about how I'm covering the Houston Heat women's pro football team, and so the CEO of VisD Productions has seeked out somebody who was going to provide the logistics, like the camera crew and everything. So we're going to be getting started with that, here in a little bit. We're going to get that rolling. Very experienced woman. She had been in the music business for 30 plus years. She worked with Kool Moe P-Funk, George Clinton, Al B. Shore. She got gold plaques behind her and everything. And so, yeah, I'm excited, man.
Definitely, guys. So there's a lot of stuff that was going on in the NFL. Probably the biggest news was the whole Henry Ruggs situation. So late last night, Henry Ruggs was actually charged with a DUI that resulted in the death of, some other people. So, obviously, he's probably going to be doing up to 20-something years, probably. Potentially even more than that for what he did. So, it's a big hit for the Raiders, because he's actually been playing well with them. But you just got to think about, how can you be a human being and put yourself in that situation? All right? Not only because you're endangering yourself. You're obviously endangering yourself. But, there's other people's lives that, are at risk in that situation. So, his career's over. But, this is bigger than that, than football or anything. So, I was kind of very sad to hear the news. Just sad for the family and everything. And just these guys can be better. They can be better than doing stuff like this and stooping to that level. So I was very disappointed. I was very saddened. Obviously, these people had families, they had friends and everything, and then, this is just something that you never want to see happen. But it did. But what were your guys' thoughts on the whole situation? Jay, you want to start us off?
Go ahead. First of all, though, TMZ is fucking trash for posting that video of that car on fire.
I didn't see it.
I saw it. Yeah, Dom was in the chat with me. It was one of the NFL carousel chats. It was disgusting.
It's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Jay. It's to you.
It's I still will never understand how you got all this money. Granted, you're on your rookie deal. You're not exactly making 118 million. Just yet, but you still have, even off a rookie deal, off strength of that, you still got a lot of money. You still got more money than a lot of people will ever see in their entire lifetime. You got this opportunity, that really only 1%, 3% of the even gets, and you're starting on the Raiders, and you do this. You got all this money, you couldn't call a ride or anything like that, and it's actually scary, man. Being out there driving and literally a screaming missile can hit you at a high rate of speed, and just like that, your life is over. It's really something to think about. But yeah, my heart goes out to that girl's family and everything. And as far as I was reading through the comment sections real quick, and one of them said that his attorney had asked that they reserve judgment until the tests come back to see if he really was drunk or not. Let me tell you something. Either way, he's screwed because he was still out there traveling at a high rate of speed. That's vehicular manslaughter any way you cut it, whether he is legally drunk or not. Because even if it comes back that he wasn't legally drunk, they're going to sit there and say, well, he was reckless driving.
Impaired.
He was at a high rate of speed. He hit her car so hard it burst into flames. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, either way, it's you know, we have to get out of this mindset of saying, oh, well, he was just young.
Does someone have two screens up? I can hear like an echo effect, Jay. Do you have two screens up right
I
now?
don't have two screens up.
I hear it too.
Well, anyway, you know, we have to get out of this mind frame of saying, oh, well, he's just young. You know, when I worked at the prison, dude, you know how many people I've seen in there serving life sentences and they were 21, 22 years old? People know better. That's my point. You know what I mean? Henry Ruggs knew better. He chose opposite. And now he's got to pay for this for a really long time.
Yeah, mine's just simple. And this goes for any person, not just if you're an NFL super, wide receiver for the Raiders, but yeah, you got to call an Uber. You can't just, be on that liquid courage thinking that you're invincible and that you're going to get in the car and you're going to make it home. Like, an innocent life is taken all because you simply didn't pick up your phone and call an Uber.
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
stay
you
where
can
you're
get
at
an Uber
for an hour.
24/7, so there's no excuse.
What's that, Dom?
I said, or stay where you're at for an hour.
Yeah. Or
I've done that before just because I didn't want to call an Uber.
Yeah.
Here's my thing, though. Even only on a rookie deal, and I've said this, this goes for all athletes, rich people. Me, myself, if I won the lottery. You know what the first thing I would buy if I won the lottery is a fucking Bentley. The first person I would hire is a goddamn chauffeur. Then I'd get hammered 24/7 because I know I won't have to drive. I'll be getting drunk in the back seat. I might sit up front with Jeeves and get drunk up there.
Yeah.
Just stupid.
Any other thoughts before we move on?
I mean, it's very brand new. I mean, as far as more stuff comes out, I'm sure we'll probably touch on another segment on a later episode as far as any updates or anything like that. It's just fresh. It just happened and everything.
I did think about the Dante Stallworth situation. He hit a pedestrian. He did hit a pedestrian, a 53-year-old construction worker, I believe, at that time. People thought he was going to go to prison for 15 to 25 years. Instead, he, was supposed to go for 30 days and got out after 24 days. So I do think it's a different world, though. I don't think Henry Ruggs is going to be playing a snap of football for probably ever.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. But yeah, we'll actually move on to some other stuff now. The next thing I want to talk about, guys, is Derrick Henry being out for the season with the Tennessee Titans. I obviously think that I feel like Dom has brought this up since the offseason that, due to the fact that how much they used Derrick Henry, he probably wasn't going to play through the whole season. And unfortunately he did get injured, and now that's a huge hit for Tennessee. Because when you talk about Tennessee, the identity of that team is Derrick Henry. It's the fact that this guy is 6'3", 260, 270 pounds, and he runs through you. He throws you on the ground. We've talked about him and being in the conversation with Adrian Peterson, who the team signed. When we've seen a guy that just comes onto the field at the running back position and just dominates. That's what Derrick Henry has done with Tennessee. So I feel like we're gonna see how much juice Adrian has in the tank. I'm sure he at least has some juice left. But we're gonna see how much it is, because if they can't really get that production out of their run game, and they put more pressure on Ryan Tannehill, I don't think that's a recipe for the Titans to be a successful team. And I think that that'll kind of open the door to where we need to have the conversation to where, should Indianapolis actually be taken a lot more seriously, within the division, even though they've already been swept by Tennessee this year. But you guys have any thoughts on Derrick Henry just going down for the year?
Yeah, I think it's a huge blow. Derrick Henry was having almost like an MVP-like season until he went down. I don't think it really hurts the Titans too much. Like, I still believe they're going to win the South, but I think it does hurt them that even if they get Henry back in the playoffs, like that was so far down the road that it's going to be so hard, especially if a team has got a bunch of momentum going into the playoffs and then they're playing Tennessee, for example. I think that could be a recipe for disaster for them. Yeah, it's a huge blow. And I also do have concerns a little bit about Tannehill throwing the ball so much. I mean, he's a guy that, gets the play action going because of Henry. And I know all day Adrian Peterson's on the practice squad, and a lot of people said they're going to be fine because Peterson's coming there. But that play action ain't going to be the same with Adrian Peterson. We might see Tannehill from Miami show up.
I mean, at the end of the day, Adrian Peterson, as great as he was, he's not that Adrian Peterson at this stage. He's just not. And to expect him to be that is very unrealistic. So I do think that you're right, Tyler, that, when you're forcing Ryan Tannehill to beat you, that's how you beat the Tennessee Titans. So they're going to have to figure something out.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was going to say that. I think that, two reasons why I still think, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Two reasons why I think the Titans still will be all right is because, number one, they're in the AFC South. It's not the weakest division, but it's pretty down there. So they should still be able to close this division out, sans Derrick Henry. And number two, I feel they still will be okay because they do have Tannehill. Tannehill is much improved since he left Miami. Now, with that being said, Tannehill is going to have to step it up because now teams know they can't lean on Derrick Henry. So it may be bouts of Tannehill's going to have to beat us with his arm. Do I believe he can do it? Yes, for some games. Do I think they can win a Super Bowl off that? No. They're going to need 22 back.
I hate that I was right about Derrick Henry, but I was right. However, this would be a very opportune time for, can the real Julio Jones please stand up? A.J. Brown's been kind of disappointing this year as well. And obviously now they're going to have to lean on those two guys more than ever. So we'll see what happens. I think they can still win the division. If Henry comes back, it might give him a shot in the playoffs. I mean, he'll definitely have some fresh legs, but also some, recently healed legs.
I mean, I don't really even with Derrick Henry, I didn't really see them
as a contender. Me neither.
I didn't really see them as the team that's going to be coming out or anything like that. Me neither. But we'll see what happens with that unless you guys have any more thoughts you want to share on Derrick Henry.
The only thought I will say to close this segment is that the next 2 weeks they play the Rams and the Saints, so we're going to find out a lot about Ryan Tannehill and his situation.
Absolutely. I think that the Titans still have a shot in the AFC because it's not as loaded as the NFC. Had they been in the NFC, I would have erased them off the board. But you got to think, the Chiefs are having a down year. Now is the time to capitalize on it. So this is going to be a test.
Chargers are struggling. Browns are struggling.
Browns are struggling.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Ravens and the Bills. That's who I'm looking at in the AFC right now.
I'm looking at them too, also. But I still say the Titans win that division, and they may even sneak in win a playoff game. And also, you got to think, once Derrick Henry gets back in the playoffs, you got to think of it like the NBA. Somebody coming off a leg injury, they're going to put him on minutes restriction. They're going to put him on carries restriction because he's not trying to re-injure that foot. So even after he does get back, it's going to be on 17.
Yep.
I feel like somehow his window to return will be week 2 of the playoffs, and Tennessee loses in the first round, so it won't matter.
But James, you've seen this. Didn't T.O. catch 11 balls on a broken foot in the Super Bowl?
Yep. for 120 yards.
Yeah. So if he can do it, Derrick Henry could probably have a Herculean effort also.
But
I wouldn't put it past him.
Just to close on this, I did mention this in the chat to you guys, is that I feel like the AFC could be one of those years that a wild card team gets hot and makes a deep run in the playoffs. So, like, let's say Cleveland, even though they're 4-4 right now, but let's say they start figuring it out and they get hot. Like, if they would get hot and then go play Tennessee in the playoffs, I think that's going to be hard, even with Derrick Henry coming back.
Or the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the AFC, I think that, like Jay said, it's not really.
Yeah.
And the NFC, like, we could talk about the NFC for a minute. Like, we know that there's no clear-cut team that's going to be winning the NFC. We know that every team has a chance. We know that Green Bay has a great chance. We know that Arizona, the Rams have a great chance. We know that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a great chance. Which one of those teams is it going to be? We don't fucking know yet. But with the AFC, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that Kansas City would be back in the Super Bowl, and we have no reason to believe at this point in time that is going to happen. So teams like Baltimore, teams like Buffalo, Tennessee, before Derrick went down, had a legitimate shot, but it kind of narrows it down a little bit, I think. So it's pretty much, if I had to say it right now, I really like the Ravens and I really like the Bills, just like Tyler said, but I don't know who's going to emerge later on. But that could be one of the cases to do that.
It could be, just like I said, the NFC is just so loaded. Like, for example, and I put this in the chat yesterday, you take a one-loss team like Dallas, looking strong, right? Mm-hmm. I got them as the 5th best team. Now, in the AFC, a one-loss squad is among the top. So this is why I think it's an easier path for Tennessee to get up there still.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yep.
A one-loss team in the AFC is the number 1 seed.
Probably. Anyway, guys, last thing before we get to more stuff. NFL trade deadline. It was not really anything crazy besides this. Von Miller getting traded to the Los Angeles Rams.
Listen,
so you put Von Miller on the same defensive line with Aaron Donald, and you have Jalen Ramsey in the secondary, who's the premier number 1 corner in all football. The Rams are all in. All right? I can't even tell you the last time the Rams drafted somebody. That's literally how. They're just like,
they don't have a draft pick until 2055.
They literally just trade all their fucking picks for premium talent.
Tyler's so mad.
Dude,
so this shit is going to be the Rams are already good, but the fact that they added Von Miller, that's going to be a fucking defense that I don't want to play against.
I'm thinking.
Don't worry, Tyler. Matt Stafford can't beat Aaron Rodgers. I promise you.
Yeah.
We hoping we don't play Tampa, honestly, but
I know, because you can't beat them.
I don't think I think you guys are kind of. I mean, I know it's early in the season, but I wouldn't even say Green Bay doesn't want to play Tampa. I mean, if I was Tampa, I wouldn't want to play Green Bay. I think it's the other way around.
I think as a Packers fan, just because of last year, you losing in the regular season and then you losing in the playoffs, you just you'd rather get a different matchup, right? Like if the Packers are in the playoffs.
I mean, obviously it's the defending champs and Tom Brady and everything like that. But what we saw against the New Orleans Saints, we're talking about the game in the chat. We're just like, wow, the Patriot. I keep saying the fucking Patriots, the Buccaneers. They pretty much came back and they dog walked the Saints there, and then all of a sudden, the Saints find a way to pull it out, making a huge play on defense. So I feel like Green Bay is a team to beat in the NFC. I do. We'll get to all that stuff later.
Yeah,
but
and so do I. And so do I. I have faith in my team. I picked the Packers to win it all this year. I have to. But
real quick, we're actually going to bring in our guests now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
First up, we have Megan Price, host of the Sip Off. What's going on?
Hey guys.
Megan?
How y'all doing? I got my drink. I do got my drink.
Got her drink. Okay.
Got the okay.
And next up, we got Jordo.
There he is.
Wearing a shirt.
Big Jordo in the building. So what's going on, man?
How you doing?
He went halfway. He went for the sleeveless.
We're trying to hang in. Hey, man, it's not a wife beater, though. I like it. I like it.
I like the
changing it up.
I dig the chachi.
Changing it up.
Jordan looking a little wooded up back there, too.
So, Megan and Jordan, if you guys wanted to weigh in on the Henry Ruggs situation, just with seeing him get into that car accident, which actually, obviously killed a young girl and everything. So, obviously, we all just kind of felt like, this guy is selfish for even getting behind a wheel as a drunk driver and putting people at risk. But what did you guys really think when you heard the whole story, and what were your main thoughts and takeaways from it?
I just want to say first that I don't want to condemn anybody until we know all the facts. Obviously we see how it looks. We've all pretty much seen the video. So just want to put it out there that I don't like to condemn anybody until we know all the facts. But also I want to say I absolutely don't understand drunk driving. Especially in Vegas. I went to Vegas this summer, and it's so easy to get a ride out there, like Lyft, Uber, taxis. Like there's no reason for it, So you got to take responsibility for that shit. And I really don't have any understanding in this day and age with a drunk driving incident. Call somebody, Uber, Lyft. It's simple.
I agree.
100%.
My first thought was Dante Stallworth all over again.
Yep.
So I feel like he's gonna get a lot more than what Stallworth got.
Oh, he probably will. Yeah.
Like he was going over 100 miles per hour.
So even if they can't prove that he was drunk, it's still reckless behind the wheel. So it's just dang, man. Condolences to the family.
I find it hard to believe that he wasn't drinking when it was at 3:40 in the morning and he's going 100 miles an hour. And honestly, if he wasn't drunk, that's even less of an excuse if he wasn't drunk, because then you have no excuse for impaired judgment.
Yeah, I feel like if he's not drunk, it makes it worse.
It makes I agree. The same thing too. It's like now you just reckless, period.
Then you weren't drunk, so you were sober and you killed a person because you were being a dumbass and reckless driving. Makes it worse.
Agree. I see no reason for it whatsoever.
But anyway, any more thoughts on that before we can move on to the next thing?
No, I have a thought on the Von Miller addition to the Rams.
Okay, yeah. We'll talk about that now.
Okay.
So my thing when I saw it is like I was kind of debating with TJ, of course, in the chat, as all of us do, right?
Here we go.
But
here we go.
Bring him
but
on.
He said, but he said that Von Miller has declined and he's been injured this year. But let me tell you what, even a declining Von Miller is the best edge defender that Aaron Donald's ever had.
Definitely.
It's fucking Von Miller, dude. He's a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
And a defensive player of the year.
And he hasn't truly declined that much.
And if you look at like defense efficiency since 2016, the top 4, right? Number 1 is Aaron Donald. Von Miller's number 4.
Yep.
Right.
So
at 32 years old,
this is a very good defense.
Right now, he's still number 4.
Yeah. I think it's a big deal.
It's a fucking great move by the Rams.
Rams are going all in. They really are. Especially with Cooper Kupp having this crazy season right now.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Well, that's the effort effect.
Well, let me plug in my computer real quick.
When
I heard the news, my thought was Rams trying to win the Super Bowl. That was the first thing that came to mind. I said, "Oh, they trying to win it, and they're hosting this year, so that would be major."
That's what I was gonna say, Megan.
They're going all in.
It could be consecutive years you have a team hosting a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And
this time it wouldn't even be a
year is Arizona's hosting, and so Arizona might make a play for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're looking good this year as well.
They are. I think we'll see them come to fruition next year. They've had some injuries.
Yeah, Kyler going to be out for a couple of weeks. But Jordan, do you have any thoughts on the Von Miller trade?
Did not expect it.
Yeah, it was kind of out of left field, but
right.
Yeah.
Whew.
I would love to have
I didn't even know he was on the trade block.
I heard Dallas was trying to get him before the Rams swept in.
It was Dallas, and there was one other team that was in the mix.
The Bills.
Yep.
That would have been dirty too.
Man, if Dallas would have got him, damn.
So two real contenders in the Cowboys.
You're a dick.
Dom, we fucking beat you guys by like. We're not even good, and we beat you guys 44-6.
Let's get into that. Whatever the next topic is, it's not the next topic. It's the jail sexing that the Lions took at the hands of the Eagles. The hands and penis
maybe you should.
Eagles, so go ahead.
Maybe I wouldn't bring it up if you would actually pay up and do your shots. But anyway, go ahead.
Hold on. As far as the Von Miller trade, okay, so LA no longer stands for Los Angeles.
I need some malt liquor.
It stands for Loading All Stars. Remember how I said the LA Lakers, the way they are now, they're pretty much the Western Conference All Stars that reside in California. Well, now the Rams are the National Football Conference of Pro Bowlers that reside in California. They don't believe in draft picks no more. They're literally going
fuck them draft picks.
There's somebody in
That's what Sean McVay said.
There's somebody in that front office that feels that
you could already get established talent. Why not?
Yeah,
it's like an all Madden team.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. And you know what? And you have to wonder where they're coming from with this. Someone in that front office.
Bill Belichick started it.
He did. But someone in that front office thinks that window is getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
It is.
Some of these guys,
I mean,
like Von Miller,
it is.
Stafford's not getting any younger or healthier.
Yeah.
Exactly. Some of these
Aaron
guys,
Donald's even 29 already.
are either on the, just like the LA Lakers. Some of these guys are on the back end of 20 and the wrong side of 30.
Right.
You know, but to Tyler's point, Von Miller at half speed on the wrong side of 30 is still a top 4. So I'm giving them a real.
Some of those Lakers won't even make it to a retirement home. I feel like 3 or 4 Lakers will die of old age on the court.
But the thing is, you feel like they're just printing money in Los Angeles, whether it's the Dodgers, whether it's the Lakers, whether it's the Rams. Like, they're printing money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like it's the same thing as like a basketball super team. Like, there's more players on the field, so I don't know. I don't feel like it's the exact same thing, but the comparison to like an all Madden team, I think that's about correct right there.
I remember the last super team in the NFL. I think James does too.
Well, yeah, in the NBA, you can go with an 8-man rotation and take your way to an NBA championship.
Right.
Yeah.
It's much easier to build a super team in basketball than it is in football.
Right.
But just going off of something that Jay said with that, you know, the pressure is on the Rams to win the Super Bowl because the fact that they are going all in, trading all these picks for Jalen Ramsey, trading all the picks for Von Miller, giving up the picks that they get for Stafford. So if you do that, you're out of draft picks. So if you don't win and you don't win, then you gave all that up just to not win a ring.
But I mean,
you better get the job done.
They're finishing the season in the playoffs every year, so it's not like they're going to have high draft picks anyway. I mean, it does make a difference if they're first-round draft picks, but they're not going to be high. They're finishing the season off in the playoffs, and they usually make a run the last couple of years.
Sean McVay made his bones as an offensive coordinator, but I feel like now he learned his lesson from the last time he was in the Super Bowl, because the last time he was in the Super Bowl, what kicked his ass?
He didn't have a quarterback.
Defense. Oh, and you know, and I think that's what goes back.
That was Brady's poorest Super Bowl, and they still won. The only touchdown was Sony Michel. You know,
and he still outplayed Jared Goff.
Well, I think it goes back to that old saying, you know, offense wins games and defense wins championships. Like, you know, when I heard that about Von Miller, I was just like, man, they really trying to do it. Von Miller has literally shown us the recipe to beating a team in the Super Bowl with just defense. Ask Cam, because Cam had the hottest offense that year, and that defense blew him out. He barely got on the board. He couldn't even speak to the media.
Yes. This is why I keep telling people, stop listening to mainstream media most times. Because obviously they're showing you a different thing on the field. There's 3 sides to the ball. Offense, defense, special teams. So quit saying
Right.
like, oh man, it's all offense like it's flag football. Come on, man.
I agree.
All right, guys. So we're actually going to talk about some stuff that happened in the NFL this past week, starting with the Thursday night game with Green Bay taking down undefeated Arizona, with the Cardinals getting their first loss of the season. Kyler Murray throwing that interception at the end there to none other than Russell Douglas, as everybody expected. But you know what? No, Devontae Adams, no Lazard, no Valdez-Scantling. These guys stepped up, and they played very well.
Tunion's out for the year.
And Tunyon, yeah, he had that non-contact injury. Aaron Jones, shout out to him, man. Aaron Jones, for me, gets the game ball for this game.
I told you.
Just the way he showed up, because I kind of said it when I saw that all these guys were out. I was like, this is going to be a big Aaron Jones game. Mm-hmm. And it was. And, he really showed that he's an underrated running back that doesn't get the respect. Like, when you're talking about all these running backs in the league, everyone's talking about Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey and Zeke and people like that. But why does Aaron Jones not get the respect? Why does he not get the love? The guy just continues to do it in all the facets of that running backs play the game at. He catches the ball out of the backfield. He's quick. He showed that he can run through people. That run he had at the goal line just ran through a guy.
Red zone threat, too.
Yeah.
So Aaron Jones, he gets a game ball for me. And I think that Green Bay is showing that they're the team to beat the NFC, because they're doing this. They're just finding ways to win games no matter what, no matter who plays or who doesn't. So when they do get their guys back at some point before the playoffs and they're a fully healthy team, they're going to be the team that nobody wants to play. And I think Green Bay will find themselves in the Super Bowl when it's all said and done. And you can't forget that Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. He's the best quarterback in the league, and that's not changing anytime soon. Tyler, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was great game plan running the ball, especially when you have J.J. Watt out for the season, so that's going to make it a little bit easier. I'm actually going to monitor how Arizona steps up with J.J. Watt down, because I think teams are going to start running the football on them a little bit more. Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. I even think, like, the game, like, everyone talks about that last play and talks about A.J. Green and the mishap, but, like, before that even happens, when they make the goal line stand on us down on the other end, where Matt LaFleur got criticized for his play calling, and then Aaron Rodgers said that it was actually him, not Matt LaFleur, who wanted to be in shotgun. So that was on Aaron. But I think if we score there, this ain't even a discussion about A.J. Green. Because I thought Jerry Gray, for our defensive coordinator not even being present for this game because he was out with COVID as well, I thought Jerry Gray stepped up as a defensive backs coach. Russell Douglas, we all know that he has not been a great player, but he did make a very clutch play to win that game. And 131 yards on the ground was special. I think when we do get Za'Darius back, when we do get David Bakhtiari back, when we do get Jair Alexander back, when we do get Valdez-Scantling back, yeah, we're going to be a problem for anybody.
I just wanted to kind of touch on that last play just real quick, and I've read my share of theories about it. But you got to think. I'm going to share something with y'all. They were down at about, the 3-yard line? It's like first, second down. There's one, how come he didn't turn around for the ball or anything? I read one thing, and it made sense. I think A.J. Green was playing for the flag. He was playing for a PI. In which, why the hell would you do that?
Can't do that.
You were on
Fuck
the
that,
3-yard
dude.
line.
Like,
never assume the flag.
Thank
That
you.
just sounds like a fucking cop-out.
Thank you. So if that's what's going on,
that sounds like an excuse to me.
Oh, I mean, y'all know what really happened. Someone unplugged his controller.
That's what it looked like.
I saw that meme. I was dead.
His little brother walked in and unplugged the Xbox.
Well, I think
He's got to have Xbox, because that's the only way his controller would do that. Because they got to use fucking real batteries.
See, when you on PlayStation,
we can just recharge our shit.
Yeah, man, we can get going.
I think for me, player of the game was really Randall Cobb. He was that much of a difference maker with the touchdowns, and you can't overlook points right there. And he was only with the Cowboys one season, but I got to say he was missed. He's definitely a Green Bay Packer for life. He's been there with them the majority of his career. And he's still just making a huge difference after 12 years in the league. Like, he's that important to them. So I picked Green Bay to win this game. And I don't think this actually works against Arizona. I think being an undefeated team brings unwanted pressure. Look at the Steelers last year, 11-0. And in reality, I know Jordan. Look, I'm just saying it's a lot of pressure to stay undefeated like that.
Jordan's going to cut off his camera and
the Cardinals were going to lose a game eventually, so I don't think.
And so I think that there's Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers, like, there's no shame in that. They're a good team. So, you know what I mean? Go ahead and get that loss out of the way, kind of get the pressure off of you. What hurt them was the injuries, obviously. But I don't think losing to the Green Bay Packers is anything to be ashamed of. Like, any team in the NFL could lose to the Packers right now.
The
Packers have been one of the hottest teams.
What'd you say?
I just feel like
I said it's true, no shame in losing to them, but it's also a measuring stick game.
No, absolutely, but I also think it just kind of takes some of that pressure off when you're an undefeated team at that point in time. Like, there's just every game that you keep going and you keep going undefeated. There's more.
You don't want to
pressure.
go undefeated.
Right. That's what I think. I think you don't want to go undefeated. You want to win the Super Bowl. Buccaneers won the Super Bowl last year with 11 wins?
Yep, and a wild card.
There you go.
Yeah, and they started 11-5 too in that season, or 7-5, I should say.
Okay.
So
that's
the right
my
time,
point,
just like you said, Ty.
Go ahead.
Oh, just as far as Arizona goes, I was just gonna say it's obviously gonna affect them. The fact that Kyler Murray had the ankle injury, so. I'm not sure, like, however long he's going to be out, not having him with the way that he's played this year, that's going to be tough for him. And I don't know if Colt McCoy is going to be able to hold down the ship until he gets back. But if Kyler's healthy and he comes back, I think Arizona is still going to be fine. I think that they'll still win their division, in fact. But,
I don't. I still think Rams, but...
I got the Rams winning that division, and Seahawks finishing last for sure.
Did the Rams and the Seahawks? They don't matter. Did the Rams and the Cardinals play once already? They did, right?
Yeah, the Cardinals.
Yes, and Arizona won.
So they're 1-1.
So what's the second tiebreaker for division after head-to-head?
Arizona is 2-0 in their division with another win over the 49ers as well as the Rams.
It's the first tiebreaker is actually division record, right?
Yes, and Arizona will play the 49ers again this week. So we'll see.
Yeah, and we will see the Cardinals and the Rams play again, and we will see Von Miller on that defensive line for the Rams.
Ooh-wee.
Right. And they gave him his number from college back.
Yeah.
Saw that.
How about that A.J. Dillon? Because he had a really good game, too.
He did have a good game.
Yeah. He did.
He's sweet.
That's your power back right there.
And
well, that's what that's what they should have did on that goal line, Jordan. When we got held, they should have been giving the ball to A.J. Dillon.
Bringing the power back with the fresh legs.
Game. He looked like Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I didn't chime in on this earlier, but I think the
before.
Colts still win the division over the Titans now, even with that many games behind. I do. I think the Colts come back and win it.
Wow.
Carson
It's Wentz time. James loves to see it.
Hey, I like it. I like the bold move. I like when people make bold predictions. That's a bold one, Megan.
Oh, by the way, the Celtics are not making the playoffs. Jahan running away my motherfucking money.
The Celtics didn't they have a 20-point lead against the Chicago Bulls?
Marcus Smart is ready to
24-point lead or something? No, 14-point lead, 19. And then they ended up losing by 14. Oh, 19.
Marcus Smart is ready to fight 40% of the starting lineup.
We're gonna have to save all the Marcus Smart stuff for the Sports Morning week because we got a lot of nominees for this week. But a few other games you guys want to talk about? How about Cooper Rush winning it for the Dallas Cowboys over the Minnesota Vikings? When they said that,
well, Megan didn't have any faith in her team.
No, I didn't have any faith in Cooper Rush. Get it right.
I mean, shout out to Mike Booth who kept saying that he knew that the Vikings were still going to lose, even though it was Cooper Rush.
Okay, I'm gonna quote Dak and say that where he made his comment that he's in the moment, he's celebrating the win with his team, but he's ready for next week. And I think that just goes ahead and speaks on it. Like, we didn't actually win the game until the last minute of the game, so it was still kind of a nail biter. It's not like it was just an extreme standout performance. I still don't trust Cooper Rush. We got to do something about our quarterback depth. I think we should have kept Michael White. Obviously, Michael White threw for 405 yards this weekend. We should have kept him.
He's your winner.
Oh, he was a Cowboy. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
yes, he was.
That's why.
Shout out to the Western Kentucky
So
Hilltoppers.
I'm sitting there watching the Jets game the whole time, just like, damn, we should have kept him. Even though now I got to watch another redhead. Just kill me.
But
you can't really worry about who your backup quarterback is because no matter who you are,
yeah, good for Mike White that
you're the Baltimore Ravens of the early 2000s. If your starting quarterback goes down, you're fucked. It doesn't matter who your backup is.
Well, Mike White's playing Thursday night, isn't he?
I think James would disagree with that statement, Dom.
I'm just saying.
I think James
okay.
The Cowboys could have. The Eagles traded a 6th-round pick for Gardner Minshew. You're telling me that's not enough to give up for a backup
Big
quarterback?
Dick Nick notwithstanding, what I want to know is what did y'all drink at that Super Bowl celebration? Because y'all on about a 3-year hangover.
No, we're not.
I like the mustache.
Last year was the only year we didn't make the playoffs after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We made the playoffs we had a really good run the second year after we won the Super Bowl because we literally came within. Alshon Jeffrey dropped that pass against New Orleans.
Oh,
and
that's
got
true.
intercepted.
That's true.
Just hating.
We would have been back in the NFC title game. We ain't been on a hangover. We just are a rebuilding team now.
They made a bad coaching
As soon as he
hire.
brought up Philly and the Lions, you saw me break out the malt liquor. I was like, oh, he brought up the Lions. Let me go get that Mickey's.
Well, how about those Eagles running for over 200+ yards against
746 yards.
You guys made Boston Scott look like prime Herschel Walker.
I just picked him up too.
You guys made Jordan Howard. You made Jordan Howard look like Eddie George.
You made Jordan Howard look like Jordan Howard because he's better than Eddie George.
I don't know about that.
Eddie George averaged less than 4 yards per carry lifetime.
He still has way more 1,000-yard seasons than Jordan Howard does. Jordan Howard was borderline about to be out of the league until the Eagles brought him back.
I don't understand how he had. Why? He had 1,000 yards 2 out of 3 years in Chicago.
Injured.
The third year he had like 975.
He can't stay healthy.
Is there any games you want to touch on, Jay or Jordan?
I was actually going to touch on the Megan but the Jets when Mike White and actually
Mike fucking White, bro.
This I know we don't have a segment for this, but this easily is sports winner in New Jersey that won it's been confirmed. He won
I saw that.
$100,000 because he put 1,000 on Mike White being the leading passer this week. And get this was his theory. His theory was, I bet on Mike White because I figured that the Bengals was going to kill the Jets, and the Jets would spend all the time throwing the ball trying to catch up. Mike White threw for that many yards.
It was actually a pretty safe bet based upon his projected number of attempts. No one knew he'd complete that many passes.
Well, and get this.
What do you go, like 37 of 45 or something?
There's about to be
Bro, if I was that guy like Cash, I'd go buy a Mike White jersey in every color in the Jets.
Oh yeah,
those black ones are cold. I love the black ones.
Hey man, Zach Wilson, man, there's the quarterback controversy that's brewing in New York.
No,
And
I don't think so. I think you still got that's the number one draft pick for them. You know what I mean? That was their first round draft pick. Like they're still gonna start Zach Wilson, but I think.
But you could.
Think so?
If Mike White,
no, I think they will.
Mike White, if he lights up the Indianapolis Colts again, like he did the Cincinnati Bengals, and they win, then people are gonna start saying that they don't want to go back to Zach Wilson.
Everybody,
or the Colts. Come on now, the Colts are a way better constructed team than the Bengals. Like the only thing that the Colts really need, I mean, they lost some of their O-line, right? But they just basically don't have a quarterback. I mean, I would love to see Ellinger play, but that's not going to happen as long as Carson
Wentz
still
is not a quarterback.
No. He was, but he just never came back from that injury. I'm not being an ass. I'm just saying he never bounced back from that injury. It's no different than Teddy Bridgewater. We can all see it.
Really?
I think Frank Reich is babying Carson
there
Wentz.
you have it. Well, I'm not the only person that's been saying that this whole entire time. So
I'm not sure. I would love. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see him turn it around. I would love to see him turn it around and be what we all saw the first season that got them to
It'll
the
never
playoffs.
happen.
It'll never happen. And so that's what I don't understand about the Bengals, because Joe Burrow had the exact same injury. Now he's still got his arm. He's still obviously got a better arm than Carson, right? But you didn't protect him. Don't get me wrong. Jamar Chase is definitely rookie of the year. Definitely rookie of the year, but you did nothing to protect your quarterback. Nothing. And you had a chance to get Penei Sewell. What the hell?
And then
there's only one explanation for the Cincinnati Bengals. You ready for it? The Cincinnati Bengals.
Wow.
Longer playoff win drought than the Lions. That's all that needs to be said. With a lot more appearances.
Thanks.
Ask Marvin Lewis. Was he 0-70 in the playoffs?
You have a talented quarterback that looks like they're going to be able to bounce back from one of the worst injuries you can take. Literally, Carson Wentz and Joe Burrow had the same injury. They tore every single ligament and tendon in their knee that they could tear. And why would you not protect them with an O lineman that had 0 missed sacks in his college career? 0, none. He had no missed sacks.
Because they listen to Joe Burrow instead of listening to themselves.
I get that they have chemistry and their offense looks great. Don't get me wrong, their weapons look great. But what can you do when your quarterback is on his back?
Yeah,
I agree with you 100%.
And on top of
all
this,
thank you, Bengals, for Penei Sewell.
And on top of this, they still have one of the worst coaches in the National Football League.
True.
Let's be honest. Ain't nobody like that coach. But I will say that if Mike White goes into and beats Indy and has the kind of performance he does, though, I do think it raises some eyebrows, because the Jets have been losing for a long time, so those fans are getting really sick of it, right?
Yes.
And you got to think, you got to think, if Mike White is the quarterback for the Jets, they could get draft capital back for trading Wilson too. So it's just something to monitor. Not saying it's going to happen. Colts are going to be favored in this game, and the Colts should win, especially with, they saw what happened to Derrick Henry, and they're going to try and win this game. But I'm just saying, if Mike White comes out here and balls, they're going to think,
and they didn't.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I'm saying. If Mike White goes out there and balls, it could change.
I'm actually picking the Jets to win this game, and the reason why is just because we've seen this shit. We didn't think they would beat the Titans, and we didn't think they would beat the Bengals. So, fool me once, shame on me. I'm not falling for this shit.
I think
Jets win on Thursday night.
Go ahead, Jay.
Everybody on this thread has seen how absolute nasty New York fans can get. So if Zach Wilson comes back and he starts slipping, they're going to boo him out of the state altogether.
It's like Philly.
They're going to call.
I'll say this about Jets quarterbacks.
And Mike White will be the starter, and Zach Wilson will become only the second first-round quarterback in the last 3 years to get traded after his first season. Who remembers Josh Rosen?
Josh Rosen was one.
Yeah, he's the backup for Atlanta now.
Mike White versus Zach Wilson is the new Nick Foles versus Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
In 1 week, I saw better quarterback play from Mike White than I've seen from Zach Wilson in 6 weeks and Sam Darnold in 2 years. That's all I'm going to say.
James, and I'm not arguing with your point because I like your bold take of saying the Jets are going to win, but just remember, like the Jets have beat the Bengals and they have beat the Titans, which is really impressive. But they did get killed by the Falcons. They did get killed by the Broncos this year too. So
The Falcons.
we just gotta say.
I'm on the Mike White bandwagon this week.
I got you.
Still have a reason not to be.
It's a feel good story. If Mike White does it,
you know? Yeah.
I'm starting Mike White in
fantasy
fantasy this week.
It made me feel nervous though. As I watched him and he balled out, I was like, man, Cooper Rush ain't gonna do shit.
Dude, the Jets out here beating contenders,
and then Cooper did.
He played well, but he didn't play fantastic. He you know what I mean? Like
Mike White is going to be like the new Fitzmagic.
Enough to win the game.
Take the win and move on.
He won the game, but the game was not won until the very last minute of the game. Y'all gonna tell me that the Chiefs, who won the game in the very last minute of the game, that they really look good? No, our defense looked good. That's what looked good.
Well, yeah.
But Megan, this is why I thought you guys had a chance even when Dak was out pregame. Kirk Cousins is 8-17 in primetime football games. This man does not know how to show up when the lights come on.
Our record against the Vikings is just
He's got
crazy.
8 wins?
It doesn't matter how bad Minnesota is playing throughout the season. They find a way to beat the Cowboys all the time. And so I was just like, then we're going to go in with our backup?
I didn't know Kirk Cousins had 8 wins in prime time. I thought he was like 3-50.
He has most of those. He has most of those with Washington, by the way.
Well, Daniel Jones is the new Kirk Cousins. He's like 0-7 in prime time.
That's my sports.
Man, I wouldn't even go. I
will have none of your Daniel Jones slander.
That's your guy. That's your guy that you love.
He keeps making me look dumb.
Terrible. Well, Dom knows he's making him look dumb.
Well, Dom just loves players that I don't
know. Who's worse? Who's the worst team in New Jersey sharing a stadium right now? I say it's the Giants.
Definitely the Giants.
It's definitely the Giants.
I think it's easily the Giants. The Giants. The Jets actually play defense too.
Their wide receiver.
The Jets at least had a decent season.
Yeah.
Or a draft. They at least had a decent draft. Like they did what they were supposed to do. They got a new quarterback and they
have a better coach.
And
they got a
better coach. Like they're not there yet.
Oh,
they're
Jesus!
Making some moves to get on the right direction.
Thank you, Tyler. Now you
Dom, you are not really. Dom, you really don't think Judge is better than
Tyler? Just reminded me that Joe Judge is going to be up for Sports Moron of the Week for something that he said like last
better
week.
Implies good. Do I think Joe Judge is good? No. Robert Saleh, who knows? He's got a couple wins against a couple good teams, but I wasn't sold on him. Actually, I was kind of sold on him last year.
Joe Judge called the fucking cops during practice because he said that the police need to hold his team accountable.
Listen. Yeah. Ever since preseason, I said that this Giants team is just, fumble fucking into the regular season. Like I knew it was going to be a bad year for him.
You said the Giants were going to be the worst team in the league or something, or one of the worst teams.
I said they were going to be the worst. Honestly, that was my bold take because everyone kept saying the Jaguars and stuff, and I said I think the Giants are going to be the team with the number 1 pick. And granted, the Lions are doing whatever they can to get that number 1 pick, but
we are lapping the field. We're still going to look our way.
I feel like the Giants and the Jags. I feel like the Giants and the Jags should play a game, and whoever wins gets the first pick.
I like it.
In my big money fantasy league, that's how we determine the top 4 picks. If you end up bottom 4 at the end of the regular season, you got to win 2 games to get the first round pick.
I say Robert Saleh. Who are we saying?
Robert Saleh and Joe Judge.
I say Robert Saleh, Joe Judge, Dan Campbell. They all just do like a triple threat ladder match, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Yes.
Either that or
I like it.
Exploding table.
I got Saleh coming out on top of that, bro.
I do too.
I don't know. Dan Campbell feisty. He bites kneecaps and stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Dan Campbell feisty. He should be a tight end.
He's also about.
I know, but Saleh's jacked, bro.
I know, but I'm saying Dan
Campbell's like
probably
6'5" and like 270 pounds. And he bites your
He's a
kneecaps.
former tight end.
I think
He does cocaine.
Okay, are there any games that you guys want to talk about for next week?
I think the Giants and the Jags should play a game, and the loser goes and plays.
I want to talk. Well, let's see. The Rams
where,
and the
Jay?
Titans.
Huh?
The CFL?
Nah, I don't need to
that'll
talk
work.
about that.
I'm
Now
ready
that
to
Henry's
ship the
not
Lions
playing.
right to Windsor.
I mean, I think Bengals Browns should be an interesting game.
Yeah.
They're currently looking like about the same tier team. So I feel, I mean, and you know what I mean? They're rivals. So that's.
And I talked to Cliff today. Cliff has been sharing a lot of
Baker
things,
gonna
like
play?
been texting me. Well, he's been texting me a lot. There's like a lot of personnel issues going on with the Browns. They're like really arguing a lot in the locker room. It's happened since the Arizona game. So then we all saw what Odell's dad commented about Baker not giving him the ball and all that. So it is getting a little sticky there. You know, it's just, we're going to see. But that is a big game because both of those teams need to bounce back.
Right. I think Packers Chiefs is going to be a really interesting game. I think this is where, because like a lot of people are asking, are we ready to hit the panic button on the Chiefs? I'm saying yes. Like I said yes last week. I said yes last week. Like I didn't even
Chiefs
need
about
this
to get
game.
right on the get right.
I think the Packers are going to win.
yes for
I think
like
the Packers
3
are going to
weeks.
win, but I think the Chiefs are going to try this week.
Okay.
Chiefs
And
They
I
might
think
try.
Packers
What
gonna
did
win.
they do against the Giants? If
Right.
they can't even blow out the Giants, bro, they can't. They're not going to come close to winning this game.
Hell
The Chiefs
no, the
just saw
Packers
Melvin
The
Ingram.
Packers are going to whoop
round
their
pick.
ass, bro.
Packers are gonna smoke the Chiefs.
Well, Devontae
And-
Adams
By
is
30.
hopefully coming back too. So
Yeah, they're going to get smoked.
Yeah.
The Chiefs just saw Melvin Ingram from us.
I mean, and it's a big game for the
Melvin
Cardinals.
Ingram
Yeah,
is
they did.
75 years
That's
old
right.
and
That's
injury
right.
prone.
Still good, bro.
I'll be rooting against the Ingram this week. That'll be funny.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the Cardinals and the Niners game should be interesting. Obviously, we know the Cardinals are probably going to lose, but that's going to be a big game for the Niners. It's divisional, and with Kyler being out, that's a big problem right there.
Yeah, and
Who's the
JJ Watt
Cardinals
being
backup?
and I'm going to say JJ Watt being out, I'm going to keep monitoring that because let's see if the 49ers start running the football a lot more since Green Bay had so
Right.
much success this last week against them. So
Right.
Cardinals better give my boy James Conner some love.
Yeah.
your Steelers are off, Jordan.
No, we're Monday.
Eagles,
McCoy.
Chargers.
Oh yeah, you're Monday against the Bears. I'm rooting for you guys actually.
And then
Definitely
Titans
gonna
Rams, so it'll be
kill
the first.
that
It'll be, I guess, the first game that we see Von Miller. I do think the Rams are going to be more dominant than the Titans, obviously.
Yeah, me too.
But, I mean, we will get to see Von Miller, so for the first time in a Rams jersey, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
They just improved their pass rush via Von Miller, and now the Titans have no Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and what I'm
All
gonna
right.
say is Tannehill has
Ryan
to.
Tannehill.
Yeah, Tannehill has to throw the ball. Look for Jalen Ramsey to get a pick or two in this game.
Okay, and don't forget, Tannehill was Von Miller's quarterback in college. And my opinion of Tannehill is he's the exact same quarterback that we saw in college. Like, nothing has changed. So Von Miller knows exactly what to do.
Yeah,
They
I
get
think
Brown.
They're both Tamo, right?
I think Tannehill has to play off the. He's like a play action quarterback. So not having Henry there, I am concerned. I do think they still have a good lead on the division, and they might find ways to win. But yeah, they're gonna get smoked on Sunday night. I think.
He's not going to beat you with his arm to the tune of 30 completions per game. He just won't.
No.
Can't.
He's not that kind of quarterback.
Yeah, there's no
The
shot.
Rams are actually 7.5-point favorites now since Henry went out.
Sounds about
Woof.
right.
Yeah.
That'll
But
move
anyway,
even further.
I guess we can segue into sports morons of the week. So
Let's start with Jordan.
Let Jordan go first. He's so excited. He's going to wet his pants. He already ripped the sleeves off his
All right,
shirt.
Jordan, you just go ahead and go first, all right?
Okay, so y'all remember last week, right?
Yep.
Who was the only one to pick the Steelers?
Oh,
It was you,
nice.
Jordan.
Bunch of moron motherfuckers, man. And
Wow, all of them.
Bring a
twice
table
as
like
much-
a Bills fan or something. Do something outrageous.
Jay twice as much because he was the only one to pick the Cardinals too.
I'll take that on the chin. But in all fairness, we all make picks.
Oh,
hey,
I gotta go get my plug for my laptop. Be right back.
Well, here's the thing: when the Steelers beat the Lions, we actually all can pick on Jordan because Jordan keeps saying they're gonna lose to the Lions.
We're gonna lose. Watch Big Ben get hurt.
No, it's a trap game. I understand why you're saying that. It's a trap game.
Dude, fuck
The
that.
game
You
we
guys
lose.
saw what the Eagles did to the goddamn Lions. The Lions ain't nobody.
Exactly. No, that just further proves the point right there.
This is how many games they're gonna win. 0.
No, I think Detroit might get one against Denver
Fuck
with Von
no.
Miller not even being there anymore. I think Denver's about to start losing
fuck
a
no.
lot.
Like, who's their quarterback?
Teddy Bridgewater.
What is Denver right now? 4-4. Let's monitor what their record is at the end of the season because I bet they're going to be like 5-12. They're going to start losing a lot now.
I can see
Lions ain't gonna win a single goddamn game. Anyway,
That's Pittsburgh.
I have a few nominees.
Oh wow!
I have a few nominees. My first nominee is Joe Judge. Joe Judge saying something about, the reason why we're calling timeouts is because like our headsets and shit are fucked up. Do you guys know that? No, Joe Judge doesn't know that the headsets don't work after like the play clock gets past like 15 seconds. They like turn off, so you can't like expect to call a timeout like that. If you're gonna call a timeout, you gotta get the referee's attention. But he's blaming the fucking the headset for his terrible coaching decisions and things like that. My second nominee is Marcus Smart because Marcus Smart is like he's throwing Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum under the bus, saying like they don't pass the ball and they don't do this shit. So what am I supposed to do? Like Marcus Smart, bro, like. You're talking like you're some big player. You're not. You're not. So why are you over here talking about Jason
Marcus Smart
Tatum?
is a dog.
He ain't shit. And he's a flopper. And he ain't shit. Marcus Smart ain't
He's a sweet
shit.
six man. You love him on your team until now.
No, the fuck I wouldn't. We have Matisse Thybulle. I'd rather have Thybulle. Anyway.
Okay.
Not only him, Paul George.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say him.
The ball.
How the fuck are you talking about, the basketball, like, it feels weird or it's smaller or something? Like, bro, what are you even talking about right now? You are averaging, like, 20-something points a game. You're playing good. But you're, like, complaining about
No, don't get me wrong. The 3-point percentage is down for, like, it's the worst since, like, 98, I think. And I want to say that's because of the foul rule adjustment.
Well, I mean, people, that's the problem with the players is that they're conditioned to play. They're not conditioned to play for the bucket. They're conditioned to play for the foul.
Yeah.
And now they can't get the foul anymore, so now they're all pissed off about it.
Shout out to Giannis who spent the offseason working on his jumper. Ben Simmons, fucking take notes. That's what you do. Even as the champ, you work on your game and get better, and then you talk shit to James Harden. That's what you do.
Yeah, James Harden said he's not skilled or whatever, but we see who's skilled, and James Harden ain't really doing shit, so what am I going to say?
Like Giannis said, we don't have a skill set now.
James Harden's beard smells like urine.
Do you guys got sports morons?
Urine.
I got one.
I got one. Go ahead, Tyler.
Mine's going to actually be on the Celtics head coach Ime Udoka last night because you cannot get outscored 39-11 in the fourth quarter and have 0 defensive rebounds the entire fourth quarter.
Ouch.
You got to call timeouts and you got to tell your fucking dudes to grab a board because that is pathetic. They couldn't rebound worth shit. That's the whole reason we got back into that game and won that game. Shitty coaching last night from Boston.
You shouldn't have to call timeout to tell them that, for one. For two, you shouldn't even have to tell them that.
Yeah,
I mean,
rebounding is a pretty important part of basketball.
He didn't have any leadership on his team in that fourth quarter,
and
everyone kept talking about that being a great hire for the Boston Celtics. And last night it showed me, I was like, wow, maybe Boston did hire a fucking bum because he did not have any leadership.
No, I mean, how about this?
How about they fired Brad Stevens?
They didn't fire Brad Stevens. they promoted him to like in the front office. But this is the thing. Everyone said Brad Stevens was like not the coach to lead this team and all this other stuff.
Tell him you don't want him as the coach without telling him you don't want him as the coach. Oh, you're getting promoted. He's never done anything else but coach.
No, Brad Stevens sucks. The first thing he did, like within minutes of getting the promotion, was get rid of Kemba Walker. Like, there was obviously shit happening behind the closed doors in the locker room. Like, they were imploding last year. So we're just seeing the effects of that now. But how classless do you have to be to trade someone within like 2-3 minutes of getting your promotion? Like, it was a trash move. I don't like Brad Stevens at all.
And I really don't have an issue with you. I really don't have an issue with Udoka, but when you're not using your timeouts in the fourth quarter and you're letting a team just surge back, and I'm a Bulls fan, I loved it. Don't get me wrong, but you're not even calling a timeout to calm teams down.
It's his rookie season as a head coach, correct? It's his rookie season as a head coach. He's gonna make mistakes. Now, does he deserve the title this week? Yes, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's a rookie head coach mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, you get 37 timeouts. I think you could use one of them.
I mean, it's not the same thing as Paul George talking about the ball feels weird. Like, shut up.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
But
There's a problem with the Wilson ball. I like the Spalding ball. Like, shut up and play ball.
Dom, what's fucking basketball, dude?
My sports moron of the week is Jared Goff for throwing the ball for not the first time on fourth down out of bounds, for the second time. On fourth down.
Yeah, that's...
I thought you were going to say Jared Goff for having small hands and fumbling the ball.
He can't help that, bro. Apparently his mother and or his father and multiple Yeah, don't hate on that man. He probably smells like cabbage, too.
Oh, wow.
Arnie's. Small hands, smell like cabbage.
How do you know he smells like cabbage?
Austin Powers, anybody? Bueller? Carney's, small hands, smell like cabbage.
Have you actually smelled him?
I can smell the stench of his dead cap hit from here.
Braves just won the World Series, by the way, 7-9.
They did, yeah.
Ooh, boy.
First one since '95.
Congratulations, Holland.
Hey, Jay, I'm really sorry, but I
sorry, J Dog. Just want to share.
Fuck the Stros. I'm a Rangers fan. I'm glad y'all lost.
We'll beat y'all next year.
I don't know. Everybody beat us. That ain't nothing.
We'll beat
right.
y'all next year.
Like, I don't know why y'all had to come to our league, and then, of course, naturally, you're in our division. Like, goddamn, couldn't y'all stay in the National League?
I'm glad they doing that shit over there. I couldn't.
Yeah, because they were in our division, right, Jordan?
Man, I hate that shit. I mean, we were already make ourselves look bad, but y'all not helping.
And Tyler, we were in the same division for a long time, but you hate the Cardinals.
Yeah, 96 to 2000 and fucking 12. Like, yeah, it was like 16 years you were in our division.
Yeah.
It was like you guys actually, Jay. You guys actually were like, you guys were like basement dwellers in our division. We used to call you guys the Lastros then.
2012 and 2013, it was rough.
One of those years. People are like, the Astros got a hell of a team. They might win 50 games.
Well,
there was a couple of years that the Pirates were better than them, and it was.
Well, here's
at least we're not the worst.
A lot of people don't know. Whenever the new owner of the Astros, when they were selling the team, the league actually offered him an $800 million discount just to switch to the American League. So he saved literally like $800 million, like just to switch leagues. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Which is like toilet paper money to a pro sports franchise owner.
Yeah, pretty much.
I forgot. By the way, Megan, I forgot that Ime Udoka guy did come from the Spurs. I forgot about that.
He did. I mean, there's tons of.
And I'm over here going in.
There's assistants, coaches all throughout the league that have head coaching jobs, except Becky Hammond.
She'll get her shot.
Mm-hmm.
She will.
Don't worry.
She's waiting for Pop to retire.
I hope so. No, I'm hope that's what keeps me like holding on to not like going off about it. But you can't tell me whoever the hell they hired in Orlando is more qualified than Becky Hammond. No.
I don't even know who they hired.
Exactly. We don't know who they are.
They lost to the Pistons. That's all I've got to say.
And we did say it's a rookie season, but we don't know that Udoka is a great hire for the Celtics either.
Right.
Cade was a whopping 2 of 14 from the floor tonight in a 27 7-point loss to the Bucks.
J-Dog, you got any sports, Lawrence?
Yeah, I was just gonna real quick piggyback off of James's. As far as Marcus Smart, the main thing that stood out to me is one thing you never ever do is throw your teammate under the bus. You never do that. And it actually reminds me of, and I'm sorry, Jam, I gotta go there, but about that time when Ben Roethlisberger threw that terrible pick and wanted to blame his guys, and then the general manager backed up his claim. I'm like, so is that the culture that's going on around there? So yeah, you never throw your teammates under the bus. And then also to Joe Judge, let me tell you something. Back in the military, we had to know our equipment in order to operate it. If you don't know your equipment and your equipment is fine and you still blame it, we got rings for that. So yeah, he definitely deserves sports moron for not even knowing his damn equipment. I know you haven't been a coach for that long, but come on, bro. And you got people around you that can educate you. So you mean to tell me all y'all are dumbasses? Come on now. Do better.
I mean, his offensive coordinator is Jason Garrett.
My sports moron of the week is any Giants fan that exists.
Wow, don't do Ant like that.
Damn.
I said what I said.
Wow, she just
I'll stick to my story.
she's Megan's got people on her shows that are Giants fans. She's got that.
That's vicious.
What's that guy's name? Sean or
Sean
something?
On my
legend,
post,
the man, the
I
myth.
posted a meme that said, it's not dramatic enough just to say no. I have to say absolutely not. And I was like, are the Giants beating the Chiefs? Absolutely not. Sean was like, I can't wait to come back and revisit this. So Sean, you're waiting.
Oh, and you have that Giants fan on the NBA carousel too, Steve or something.
Oh, okay, well, I get it to Steve. He's a diehard fan, but he was not super optimistic about beating the Chiefs. So at least he keeps it realistic. And as a Cowboys fan, I try to do the same thing.
So what's the non-sports top?
Yeah, Sean, we're waiting.
Hold on, I have one more. It's a combination of Mike Tomlin and Chris Boswell. You call a direct fake field goal to your kicker, and then he holds the ball until there's a 300-pound man about to maul his ass. Now this man has a concussion.
That's a good one.
It was a 3-3 game. Why are you going for the fake field goal?
Tried to take a page out of that old Dan Campbell playbook.
I don't know, man.
How do you hang with the Rams and then get bent over by the Eagles?
Eagles fly, boy.
Non-sports topics. Anyone got one?
Don't drink and drive. I mean, I know that leads into our sports topics, but it's just, I think it's just real. Like, it applies to anybody in day and age. Like, there's absolutely no reason for it.
It's not really something we can debate.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Well, it's not supposed to be a debate. I'm just saying what I think.
Right. I mean,
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, never drink and drive.
Yeah, please
What do
don't.
you guys think the top video game franchise is?
Ooh,
There's too fucking many.
that's too many.
Okay, so what's your favorite?
I've always been a Capcom fan.
Capcom?
Yeah, so
Marvel.
Damn, why are you gonna do this to me?
I mean, you guys, some of you guys like game still. I don't really game anymore.
Probably, if I had to pick one, Crash Bandicoot. It's probably where I have the most memories playing.
I mean, I loved the Mario Karts for years. I played all of them.
There's too fucking many of them, man.
Yeah. And I used to play Mario Party too because I had a bunch of friends that would come over and play.
Yep, I played all that shit. Mario.
I remember Jet Moto. That was my
Mario's
a
dope.
I like the Need for Speed. I like the Need for Speed series.
I didn't like that series.
That should be
really
sick.
heavy racing game.
I used to love racing games, honestly.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I mean, yes, Grand Theft Auto, but can they put out something new?
A slept on one because
Red Dead 2 came out 2 years ago.
No, it's just an adjustment of their most recent one, like that was 7 years old. Like it's not anything new.
Yeah, they're still making billions of dollars off of Part 5, but supposedly they're planning Part 6. And I guess in Part 6, the way they want to make it is they want to make it in 3 different cities, so you could actually take a plane and fly there and do missions and everything. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
And everyone used to talk about Need for Speed, but everyone talked about Need for Speed, but I loved Midnight Club too. That was a good series.
Oh man, Midnight Club was great.
Gran Turismo, all that shit.
Gran Turismo.
I did like Gran Turismo.
I mean, you can't not say Madden. Are they ever going to bring back college football?
Yes.
I don't even give a fuck about Madden anymore. I just want my college football back.
The new college football is in development.
It's been in fucking development for 10 years.
It's probably going to be
maybe if they bring it back, Madden will have competition, and they'll make a good fucking Madden.
I hope so. I feel like Madden's getting lazy.
Never going to happen. But
I play it every day, but it gets on my nerves.
You got any non-sports topics? J-Dog?
Actually, yeah. So, I know most, if not all, the people on this panel watch Peyton Poole. So, the guy that Cameron played, Alpo Martinez, was actually shot and killed on Halloween. If you remember from the film, and actually, you know what, I'll just say what he did in real life. He was a high-level drug dealer. Man, he was also responsible for 14 murders, including of his best friend, Rich Porter. And then after he got caught, he turned informant and turned in his entire squad just to get a lesser sentence. And then he went into the witness protection program. He came out, new identity. He got a house in Maine and everything. And he was still, I don't get this at all. Because, but you know what? Maybe it's the way karma works. You know, because he actually had been out of prison for 6 years. So karma kind of let him think like he had everything sweet. And he made the decision to come back to Harlem and party. And sure enough, someone got him. So let this be the biggest lesson is you literally never know when karma is going to strike. Karma waited 6 years. He could have gotten in the penitentiary. It didn't happen. He could have gotten as soon as he exited those prison walls. It didn't happen. Made him come back to Harlem, made him think he was still king, and he still got him.
You can't show back up in your hometown like that. People, I can't imagine even for a minute that he thought people forgot about him. Guarantee as soon as he set foot in the city limits, people were like,
yeah.
It's like almost like it's almost like a wanted dead or alive poster that you see in like the West.
And that's crazy.
Shout out to Bon Jovi.
We don't know who did it.
Shout out to Bonbon.
30 years to get somebody. Or people around there waiting 30 years for that to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy.
It's just crazy, though.
Oh, I mean, when you fuck over that many people, somebody, at least one person, they ain't forgot.
Rich Porter's family never forgot.
Right.
They interviewed his niece. She was like, we waited 32 years for this. So I mean, it is what it is, dude. You can't do what you did in life and wrong to many people and think that you won't pay for it. Prison alone ain't enough payment. That's living proof.
What are your guys' thoughts on people?
Non-sports topic. I want to congratulate Tamia and her husband Grant, who are on 22 years of marriage today. You don't see that a lot anymore, so good for them.
So, what are your guys' thoughts on people who sleep with their socks on, and why are they psychopaths?
I sleep with my socks on.
Well,
and I ain't taking them off when I go to sleep.
My toes get cold. Women's feet get cold. Our circulation is different.
Especially after you've had a
We're
kid.
from hell.
And she.
My pet peeve is honestly like we went up north, me and Cassie, and when she puts her cold feet on me, that's my pet peeve.
Dude.
So
Yeah,
aren't
I'm
you
not
like,
Like when you're sleeping, when you're sleeping. When you're
What's up
sleeping,
north
she
to you,
puts some
Tyler?
cold feet on me. I'm like,
See, so wouldn't you be happy if she wore socks?
Or just don't put your feet on.
Or just don't put your fucking
No,
feet on
they're
somebody like a
cold. They're
psychopath.
cold, dog. They're cold.
Keep them feet over there.
I'm trying to warm
Yeah,
them
but
up.
let me get cold and try to put my cold feet on you. I'm getting punched in the nose.
You definitely get kicked out of bed. I fucking know that.
You trying to warm them up? It's a known fact that women take showers in scalding hot water.
Exactly.
Warm them feet up in there.
Yeah, go do that.
I mean, but we got to get out the water to go to bed.
I respect it. Megan's defending Cass.
But we're cold-blooded. That's what it is.
That's fair.
Cold-blooded.
I'm her husband. I still do it. You know, I still deal with
What
it.
happened to all our viewer comments? Did Harlem Cowboy orchestrate a mass boycott?
No.
Wait, y'all had
started
somebody that was going to boycott y'all?
No, this
Yeah, he
fucking
came
guy,
on here one time. He watched like 4 minutes of the show and he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about cereal? Fucking children."
He called us a bunch of immature little bitches.
Yeah, because we were talking about cereal.
We're talking about the best Halloween candy, and he was just like, "Wow, you guys are child."
Y'all are kind of weird with the candy police shit.
I mean, we are children.
No, that was
But
before the candy
99% of our
police shit
content
started.
is NFL related.
Hey, people think that is funny, my Candy Police post. Go read how many have reacted to those.
Right.
Well, you struck several nerves.
Yeah. Well, go read some of these other people's posts that are spam, and they ain't get one like on their fucking posts.
He dropped all the facts.
We're influencers.
I just gotta say I like black licorice, and when I expressed that to somebody, they said I was asking for real.
Ooh.
Well, Dom likes dots.
Unfriended.
Don't be weird. I accept all your bullshit. It's been years, y'all.
You probably
We've
like
been
next
friends for years, and I accept all your weird shit. Like you wear highlighter colors everywhere you fucking go, and I accept it.
I don't like black licorice though.
45 and orange juice. Don't talk to me about black licorice.
Dom, you fucking like candy corn. You can't even talk, bro.
I kind of like candy corn too.
I love I don't got
I'm
any
just gonna
non-sports
assume
topics,
you
though.
love the taste of eating crayons, if that's the case.
I don't got any.
It's more like a sweet candle than a crayon.
Right? Yeah, sweet candy. I give you that.
So much better.
Hey, but Tyler brought up a good one the other day. This was among the worst. The wax bottles with the Kool-Aid in it.
Yep.
That shit ain't even cool.
Those were nasty. Those were nasty.
I'm like,
That shit's like brightly colored like motor oil.
let me tell you something.
Oh yeah, those are like banned now, Megan.
It was like a stick of chalk.
The dude
You can only get them shits like up north.
The dude that invented the wax bottles with the Kool-Aid in it, that motherfucker ate candles as a youngster.
It was like lukewarm Kool-Aid.
It's thicker than that. It's like fucking red motor oil.
Those are nasty. Still.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about something and I forgot.
You know what I haven't had forever? Squeeze pops. Y'all remember squeeze pop?
Wait, like Freezy Pops?
No, squeeze pop. It's like liquid candy.
Yes. I remember those.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I ate a whole stick of chapstick when I was a kid because it was orange and it smelled good. And I'm like, oh, maybe it tastes good.
Ew, you fucking are gross. A whole stick of chapstick?
And that's
Well, I mean,
how
like
we
a
do
bite.
candy corn.
It smelled good.
Now you do that enough times, you gonna grow up drinking Coke 45 with orange juice.
Hey, go yell at Mafia about that shit because a lunchbox is a different kind of beer than OJ and amaretto and SoCo, and he lost me at SoCo.
It's not that bad. Quit being a little wimp.
I'm not a wimp.
I put it in
not
my
a
eggs.
15-year-old girl. Zoko is fucking gross.
It's not.
It is.
I don't know. I drink Hennessy.
I've never seen you drink SoCo, and I hope I never do.
I mean, I'll just say this. I won't buy it, but I'll drink it.
I wouldn't even drink it. My buddy left like most of a pint in my freezer for 3 years.
There's nothing else to drink. You still want to party. Drink it.
Yeah.
Even then.
And Dom's opinions aren't always right, obviously. He drinks White Claws.
I like
my opinions are always right. When's the last time you saw me with a White Claw? Oh, God, I get it.
You got chug to do. You owe Jahan 3 chugs. So
you know what the funny thing is? He wouldn't post his on Facebook. I can't post mine on Facebook.
Oh, you're still banned. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm sure Jahan will post it for me with his bitch ass.
Don't talk about my co-host like that shit.
Nah, I'm mad at Jahan. Jahan wasn't responding today. He was quiet. I told him he doesn't even ask me if I want anything from the gas station anymore. Whatever.
Because he's bringing you back a sun drop and a Zag nut.
What the fuck is a sun drop?
It's like
Mellow
Yellow.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
With vodka.
Never heard it. It's like Mountain Dew, but a little more orangey to me, I think. I don't know. They don't have that shit around here.
I've never heard of it.
Sundrop? You never heard of Sundrop?
It's a southern thing.
You haven't even seen the commercials? You haven't seen the commercials?
Oh, the commercials are funny.
They have Red Pop. It's called like Big Red, right? Or Red something.
It's called Big Red.
Yeah.
They don't have them in the north.
That's just called Red Pop up here.
Red Pop.
Mitchell had 36 points tonight, and Michael Conley had 30.
Nice.
I don't believe that the foul rule has been fully instituted because Jimmy Butler had 17 free throw attempts.
Why are you hating on Buckets?
I love Jimmy Bucket. Fuck you mean?
Why are you hating?
I'm not hating. I'm just saying I don't know if the rule has been fully instituted yet. Because
Well, let's close the show, Jen.
Because I always
All
do.
right, you guys want to give any shout outs?
Yeah, you want me to go? You guys can catch me. You guys can catch me here on the Gauntlet on Tuesday nights. You guys can catch me on the Tip Off hosted by Megan Price to my left on Thursday nights. You can also catch me on the NFL Carousel on Thursday nights as well, hosted by Eric Wilson. And you can catch me on Megan Price's The NBA Carousel on Monday nights.
Like you said, Tip Off on Thursdays, NBA Carousel Mondays, NFL Carousel on Thursdays, Sports Arena Mondays and Wednesdays. And if you want to follow me on any social media, just look up.
Cool.
Jordan.
Shout out to y'all for having me on again.
Yeah.
And shout out to them Steelers.
Them Steelers.
Jordan is always there, so you can't always follow him.
Stillers.
What did you say?
I said you're always
He's actually been
banned.
good. He's actually been on good behavior lately.
I'm going like 3 months strong.
I was going to say your main profile's been active.
What?
Go ahead, J-Dog.
Finally.
Sports Gauntlet Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. Sip Off Thursday night. VisualDramatic.com. Actually, Visual Dramatics on Roku. I'm be covering the Houston Heat here in Houston, Texas. Just got off the Zoom call with all the logistics and everything coming together. So please stay tuned with that one. Cage Ranger, shout out to them. Shout out Craig Davis. Shout out Marshall Hill, my Unconventional Kings fam. See y'all next week. www.yourbigandmamaloveyou.com.
Real quick, the Raiders just released rugs.
You knew that was coming.
Yeah, it was coming.
And Dom needs to release them cigarettes. Jesus Christ.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
Dom needs to
Let me and my lung cancer and my
emphysema
emphysema and my COPD and just leave us in peace. But I'm gonna quit this winter because this shit's ridiculous. It's like $8.60 a pack.
Please quit.
I need to. I can make my car payment with cigarette money. As I puff away. Tonight at 10 on YouTube, the Gauntlet, hosted by James, Jay, Tyler, myself. You won't see me on the Sip Off anytime in the next 3 weeks because, well, I can't go on Facebook Live. So
You don't need to be on Facebook Live. We go off of StreamYard. Same way you're on right now.
Oh, well, it's been so long I haven't been on because the Pistons aren't much to talk about.
You can
You can come on, Dom. Dom, we'd love to have you on.
I'm sure you would. I'm sure I'd love to be on. Like I said, if the Pistons were anything to talk about, it's not good. Also, the NFL Carousel, which is on Thursdays at 7, hosted by Eric Wilson. The NBA Carousel at 7? 8? Megan, help me out here. 7 Eastern.
7. No, it's 8 Eastern.
No, it's
I said
7.
help me out.
Because it says 6 o'clock my time.
What time our show starts?
On Monday?
Oh. I thought he said NFL. I'm gonna drink a little bit more.
Same.
I was like, I'm not crazy. I've been on that show. It's at 8 o'clock.
We are Lions Nation podcast, 7 p.m. on Fridays on YouTube. That's all I got.
All right, and we will see you guys on the next show, all right?
I'm sweating.
And
Sweating.